Game of the year, huh? Game of the fucking year. All kinds of places. Bioshock Infinite. A great, fantastic game that proves games' storytelling potential. Right? Right! It's been on top 10s all over the place. People have praised it lavishly, thrown flowers at it, and praised it as another example of gaming's amazing storytelling potential. It's why I played it. I mean, it was on the top 5 of fucking Yahtzee. This guy who's been tearing games apart left and right gave this spot number 1 on the top fucking 5. It's been everywhere. Some people say it's the game of the decade. The fuck's wrong with you? I mean, this is heinous. Where do I start? I don't know where to start. I mean, should we just talk about the gameplay itself? I mean, when you start out, you might suspect it's really good gameplay, right? I mean, sure, you got the 2-weapon system, which is another one of those shit-ass inventions that I don't get why get put into games all of the time, because no one likes it. It's an artificial limitation that just makes things more complicated, especially when you see they already have a weapon upgrade system incorporated. They have that in Bioshock 2. But here it doesn't make any sense, because then you upgrade a weapon, and then you throw it away because you run out of ammo, and then you have to upgrade a new weapon. Instead of, trying to strategically value what weapon you want to upgrade. Except the cranking gun, which was my favorite, which there was never any upgrades for ammo for on these jobs, and I just don't get why. I mean, it's not like it was overpowered. It's just... But yeah, that's a major mistake right there. It's just like, you're just supposed to... And then we get to the point where the game story and gameplay intersects, or should intersect. I mean, you have these confrontations with villainous characters, okay? You build us up to dislike them. That's part of the game. You want us to feel good when we finally confront them, okay? But you didn't. You didn't. You created these villainous characters that we were supposed to dislike, and then when the moment came, what did you do? Oh yes, that's right! You took away all control from me! From every player! Everywhere! You took away all the control and had them killed off in some way. The closest thing we got to a proper battle with a villainous character was the battle with Elizabeth's mom. That ghost fight. Oh yeah, sure, real original. I mean, you have all these gameplay mechanics and interesting setup and stuff. What do we create for the only fucking boss battle in the game? A mook spawner that just runs around and spawns some mooks. So, and again, it's not much different from the rest of the gameplay, is it? She just runs around and creates the same fucking mooks you've seen all over the place. Yay! And then, just because you were so fucking proud of that, you do it 3 more times! 3 times! You know what? Instead of you should just have left it in the last one, and then polished it. So it was a proper boss battle that was actually interesting. That's what you should have done, but you didn't. And all those other characters, Fink, Slade, that Fitzroy, that was her name, Fitzroy, and Comstock, and the Songbird, you just killed off in what amounts to fucking cutscenes. Because, oh no, I shouldn't get in the way of your perfect fucking story, should I? Oh no, I might actually interfere with your amazing storytelling capabilities. Except the story is actually also kind of shit, okay? I mean, it starts off good, but then it takes a pretty steep dive towards the end. Nothing's explained. Whoever the test twins? And furthermore, why should Booker DeWitt die? As established in the story itself, there are multiple Bookers, there's multiple Comstocks. I mean, I guess we kind of got, a human side to Comstock now, because now we know he's Booker. So, at least that part's solved. We know that Comstock is one version of Booker. But we already established there's multiple choices. There are thousands of him. Just killing the main character that I've been playing the entire game, am I supposed to feel good about that? That all these girls show up and drown me in the end? Am I supposed to feel good about that? Am I supposed to be happy? What, to prevent everything from happening? Oh, congratulations, you just deleted my entire progress. You just took everything I did and made it null and void. You erased everything. I might as well not have played, because everything that happened didn't happen. And Elizabeth is Booker's daughter, somehow. But in some versions he's not. Or he didn't remember. You have something good going for your game, but you fucked it up. You fucked it up something seriously. Honestly. You try to tell this amazing story, and you know what? I get that. You want a good story in a game. You want a compelling story. And that's fair enough. I see why the game wants to move forward as a medium. I'm understanding of that. I mean, having good stories in games, I'm a sucker for that. I mean, you see me, I love a good story. And I love a good game. And when the two combine, well, I think that's the best kind of option. But as I said again, and again, and again, I mean, I know the game developers are not listening to me. I'm not even a blip on their radar. I'm a nobody. I don't have much weight in the industry. I don't have much to say. I have nothing to add. But I know this is a sentiment that's echoed somewhere. If you have to choose, and you did in this game apparently, you have to choose whether you wanted some dramatic scenes of the villains dying that was like you wanted it, or you had to choose between letting me finish them off in a actually competent boss battle. That's the choice you apparently stood with. You choose, instead, to have them die in basically a cutscene. I was only allowed to fight random mooks and Elizabeth's mother, which is just a mook spawner. Why? Because apparently he was so fucking afraid I'd get in the way of your fantastic story that in the end isn't fantastic at all. I mean, what the hell am I supposed to take from this? The hell's the moral? That we should kill people before they can choose to become evil? I mean, Comstock's not even that bad. What the hell could he do? We drowned a version of him. How the hell did he even show up in the same world as Booker DeWitt anyway? I mean, I don't know. But as we already established, it doesn't solve anything. The only thing it does is kill Booker. The Booker that I've been playing, who went back in time. And I guess he fused with Booker of that time and then they died. But as we already established, there's thousands of him. The game's own story trips over the ending. There's 1,000 people out there. You can't stop it. The ending means nothing because the game is already established. You can't do that. Your own story nullifies the ending you're going for. You want a dramatic sacrifice where Booker sacrificed himself to not become Comstock? Is that what you were going for? Because all it is pointless. Yes, you may have stopped millions of Comstocks from spawning. And you have also, congratulations on your part, you stupid monster, managed to stop thousands of Booker DeWitts from coming forward and actually doing some good. That's millions of possible people you just distinguished, and in the grand scheme of it, according to your own setup, it means nothing! You know why? Because there's untold billions of other Booker DeWitts out there that did something a little bit different before this point, and thus is somewhat entirely different. You get that? You nullified your own ending. Your own ending means shit. No, it means one thing. It means you took everything I did in that game and erased it. And the fuck was up with that masturbatory reference to Bioshock? Where did that come from? Why was that necessary? It was just to say, oh, so look what we can do. Oh yeah, congratulations. This game is awful. It fails as a game. It fails as an integration of story and game, and it fails as a story. Top 10 my ass. I'm seriously disappointed in all those people. There were some people I seriously respected who gave this game thumbs up. Oh yeah, and another thing, you can't die. Who thought that was a good idea? Again, it's part of the story. The multiple doors, that in some versions Booker will actually survive this. It's part of the story, yes, fuck you. You ruined the gameplay in order to emphasize your story. You know what? Even Far Cry 3, with its fucking excuses for boss battles, doesn't come out looking nearly as bad as this mess. Still bad, though. But at least the rest of the game worked. At least it didn't annul everything I did in the end. It just pisses me off. All this work, all this hard work. Okay, I know it wasn't that hard since I couldn't die. And no, I'm not letting that go because that's a fucking awful decision. Everyone complained about it in Bioshock. Everyone said it was a bad idea. So what kind of head up your ass idiot do you have to be to say, everyone didn't like this? You know what we should do? Make it even easier, because then all this complaining will magically go around and become complaining enough to go all the way back to acceptance, right? Because if you walk far enough east, you end up in the west. That's logic for you. That's fucking logic for you. I mean, it's not like the game didn't have anything good. I like the rail system. I like the multitude of powers, even though I often admittedly forgot to use them in the heat of battle. And I like the sections where you could explore and like see the town on its own. So it's not like it didn't have good points. But all of that is smothered under the uncomfortable big lardy clump that is this. I mean, my God. Mass Effect 3's original ending doesn't seem nearly as bad, because at least it didn't annulate everything I did. What's with the expanded ending? I don't know. No, never mind. And I can't believe I have to say this, but as for building up characters and having a proper boss fight with them in a proper situation, I'm sorry, the LEGO movie games have you beat to that. Okay? Seriously. That's where we're standing. The LEGO movie games has beat you to climactic showdowns. I mean, I don't dislike the games. I actually like them. But we have a game here that tries to take itself very seriously. It's beaten by fucking LEGO. I'm sorry, then you're doing something wrong. Horribly, horribly wrong. It's quite obvious to me that whoever made this wasn't interested in making a game. They're interested in a story. The story was quite awful, to be honest. Descending into confusion in the end, trying to obscure the fact that it didn't know what to do. So how did Burger DeWitt even get Elizabeth? Why did his daughter end up with such magical powers? I don't know. Game's not interested in telling us, apparently. Only interested in drowning DeWitt because the story says so. Congratulations. This game is heinous. It is overrated as all fuck, as I just established, and you shouldn't play it. You should not play it. I heard there's some DLC for it, and I might play that just to see if they try to redeem themselves. I sincerely doubt it after this mess, and I'm not in the mood to give them money, but maybe at some day when I'm cooled down again. But until that day, I want all of you out there who hasn't bought the game to solemnly swear not to support this mess. It's the wrong direction, okay? This is not the path games should take. It's an attempt to make the games... It's an attempt to make the story more important than the game, but that's not what we should focus on. We should insist that the developers make gameplay and story go together. Honestly. That's what we should insist on. Games and story, if they want a good story, then it should merge with the gameplay to something higher. Not beat the gameplay down and hold it down so it can shine on its own. Because we have movies and books and theater plays and stuff like that. Games are games. They're not movies. They're not cinema. They're not radio plays. They're not any other form of media. Games are fucking games. Let them be games. Don't support this game. Don't support anything like this. Don't let them get away with it. Don't let them do this to games. Don't let it all turn into movies version 2.0, because we already got movies. And we already got great movies. And if we want games to stand on their own, they should stand on their own as fucking games. Don't let them get away with this, people. Never let them get away with this. Games deserve better than this. We deserve better than this. This has been Eric Cobra, and this has been Let's Play Bioshock Infinite Blind. See you all around. Don't support it. Stay away from it. Please. Don't let them win.